welcome in to Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. How are you guys doing? It is a good day, I think. It is a good day. And I've got some friends coming up to join me.
Hello.
As soon as possible, and let's make sure that we're sharing out this live. Try to get to 100 shares as quick as possible as well. We appreciate Crystal. Let's show her how much we appreciate her.
Oh, good job, Joyful. Joyful doing my job for me. That's nice. Hey, how are you doing, Born Again?
I'm great. Sorry, my dog. I'm great. I'm gonna turn on my camera in just a second. But I'm great. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Now, I have two questions. One, what would you like me to call you? And two, what are your pronouns?
She, her, and Born Again is great.
Okay, awesome. All right. Well, I don't know how many episodes of my show you have watched, so I always like to tell people how the show works. And so it's pretty simple. At the beginning, I'm going to ask you 10 icebreaker questions. And after we get done with those, then we're going to invite people to come up and ask you their questions. Or a lot of times people just want to come up and thank people. So you might get a little bit of that too.
That's true.
I know, it's very sweet. And then at the end, we're going to play everybody's favorite game that I made up, Divine or Decline. So that's what we're going to do. Hey, Light Raven. Hey, Hannah Grace. How are you? Spicy Phoenix. Good to see you. Good to see everybody here. I know I haven't said everybody's name yet. I'm waiting for more to scroll. Okay.
Crystal, I'm in an Uber, so I'm not going to talk much.
Okay. That's fine, Joyful. I wonder if you have the same Uber driver that I had when you were live that one night.
I think that I probably have the same Uber driver, I would guess.
That's probably true. I got DMs about my Uber. Right? I'm not even joking. People tell him. Cowhouse DM'd me about my Uber. Okay, you guys, are you ready to get started with some icebreaker? Oh, no, we lost Born Again. Maybe Born Again got raptured. To atheist heaven. Atheist heaven will be so fun.
Oh my God, I got raptured, and then I said, no, I'm good. He sent me back.
Oh no, I always ruin my my YouTube. One way or the other, I know what I did. Hang on one second, YouTube. I'm fixing it right now. Why I mess it up for you guys every time, I don't know. I lean on my laptop or something.
I literally screwed my phone and I hung up on accident.
Oh, okay. All right, YouTube, you should be fine now. I'm going to tilt my lid of my laptop so the glare is not in my face. Well, all right, let's get going on some icebreaker questions.
Great, I'm excited.
Okay. Is the one thing in life that you are grateful for and makes you feel complete?
I'm super, super grateful for my two fur babies, Fluff and Lucy, and my husband's the best man in the entire world, best human in the world, and I can't believe I was able to meet him through a trip. It's insane. So I'm very grateful for him.
How did you meet him? Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. How did you meet him?
At a freaking church. We were both Christian. And then we're now atheists. So I don't know how the hell that worked out. But he's literally the best person in the world. He was the liberal one, he was the progressive one, and he showed me the way of deconstructing MAGA, which was crazy. So, and he encouraged me to go to school, which ultimately led to my atheism. So that is super. If it wasn't for him, I don't know where I'd be right now. So I'm very grateful for him. He's amazing.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. What kind of fur babies do you have? These aren't the icebreaker. I'm just asking more because now I'm just nosy, I guess. What kind of fur babies?
This is Dr. Flo. Hello.
Aww, you're so cute.
And then Lucy's my cat. Short for Lucifer.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just like rearranging my lights right now. But anyway, yeah. So my dog and my cat, they're my life. I love them so much.
Aw, they look sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get to see the cat, but I'm sure the cat is sweet because I have 6 of them. I have 6
you
cats.
Have 6?
Never
That's
intended.
awesome.
Yes. There's 4 of us that live here, so it's not like they're all my cats. You know what I mean? So I'm not a cat lady. But what happened was I had a cat. My daughter had a cat. And my daughter's fiance had a cat. So we had 3 cats.
Oh,
and then somebody abandoned 3 kittens on my property. And at the time, and people, you have no idea how many people argued with me about this for the longest time, which I have no idea why. But at the time where I live, it was, if you bring them in, we are going to unalive them. We have no space. None. We cannot. Like, don't bring them in, please. You know? And I called everywhere within like 100-mile radius of my house, by the way. And there was nowhere. So what was I supposed to do?
Yeah.
3 more cats.
Crystal?
Yeah?
I just want to say my 4 cats are better than your 6.
My cats will take you on. No, actually, only 2 of them would probably try to. The rest of them would run and cower for sure. Yeah, so we took them in, and so we have
their lives. That's really nice.
We have Quincy, we have Edie, we have Tux, we have Sputnik, we have Obi, and we have Tito, and then we have my dog George, and we have a bearded dragon, and
I love that.
The Brady Bunch, I guess. The modern day Brady Bunch. But, okay, so the thing, I love my animals, but the thing that does complete me personally is my children and my grandchild. And I might have a grandchild on the way, too. We don't have it official yet, but we might have a grandbaby. I would not be I'm an independent, but I lean very left of that independent place. You know, I would not be that person. I would not be deconstructed. I would not be a million things if it weren't for my children. My children,
wow, no way.
Everything to me. They're the smartest people I know. They're the best people I know. They are the kindest humans that I know, and I aspire to be more like my kids. I really do. So,
I can't believe they had that impact on you. I feel like that's just not the case for anybody with a parent now in this political climate. So,
yeah, I was pretty. Unfortunately, to be honest with you, and it does sound sweet, and I mean, I'm not saying we don't have a great relationship. It is good, and I think that out of all the things I did in life, I was a really good mom. I do think that. I worked hard at it. It was the hardest thing I worked at in my life. But I do think that being that way also came with baggage they probably didn't want. Like, at least, especially my oldest son and my middle daughter or whatever, because you know, I was broken and I was repairing in front of their eyes, but I was broken, you know, and I was immature, and I was, a lot of things while they were growing up. And that often puts a burden on your children, whether you mean for it to or not, because sometimes they're parenting you, or whatever. So unfortunately, it did that. But we are very close and they're very forgiving. They know, that I did everything I could. And they know that I broke some, trauma that went on for generations. So, they're aware. Yeah. Okay, so speaking of that, what childhood coping mechanism has helped you as an adult survive?
Wait, like what mechanism did I use as a child that helps me now?
Yeah, or maybe you brought it with you and still use it, even though it was your coping mechanism as a child.
I'm going to be honest, this is going to sound like a BS answer. I've had to rebrand myself entirely. I am not the same person I was as a kid at all, not even a little bit. And everything that I used to think was beautiful parts about me, my empathy, my slow to speak, quick to listen, being a great listener, all of that has been weaponized against me my entire life. And so because I had to kind of deal with that and be like, zero boundaries and being a good listener only makes you vulnerable for bad people to come in and do bad things. Even if that's a nice trait to have, it has literally been to my demise every step of the way. So I've actually had to relearn how to stick up for myself, how to use my voice. It's hilarious now that on my lives, I sit there and I scream at people about the Bible because that's just not my personality. If you would have seen me as a kid, you would have been like, what an obedient little steward child who never talks back or anything and respects authority. And I've had to relearn, I've had to recultivate my personality. That's why my name is Bornagainatheist, because I've had to be born again into a brand new person, a whole new personality. All that to say, if I could answer it with one word, it would be humor. I would say if I had an answer, it'd be to try to laugh things off, to find the hilarious stuff about situations. Other than that, I've had to rebrand my personality.
I think that I've had to too in many ways. I also think that when you grow up in a home where you're being indoctrinated into not just the Christianity, but the conservatism and all that comes with that,
Oh, yeah.
When you grow up in a home like that, you're often told that you're too much because you aren't like that when you're born. You're taught all that shit, okay?
Yes.
And you're fighting against it as a little kid. You really are. But
Yeah.
I just want to be their friend. Why can't I be their friend? Why do we hate that person? I don't get it, and stuff. And they keep pushing that down and pushing that down, that they dim your light in a way. And you get older and you realize you start doing it now that you're not even around those people anymore, or and because you have been just conditioned to,
Yes.
So I think that one thing that I've done is made sure to go ahead and shine bright now. I don't care who I piss off. I don't care if you don't like my light. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to shine, and if it bothers you, go put some sunglasses on, go get in the shade, go inside, but I'm going to shine right now. And,
Hell yeah.
But the coping mechanism, I am going to be so vulnerable right now. I am going to tell you guys something that only the people who are very close to me, meaning like my husband and my children, know this.
Oh, tea time, yes.
When I was abandoned when I was 3. So I have abandonment issues. Obviously, that's going to happen. And ever since, when I was little, I used to suck my thumb and I would play with my ear. And of course, I grew out of sucking my thumb. But I still, to this day, play with my ear all the time. And you'll see pictures of me just holding my ear. One time my niece even said, "What are you doing, Auntie, in that picture?" And right away my daughter goes, "She's playing with her ear." I just like play with the lobe, and so I don't know why. It was just a soothing mechanism as a child that I never grew out of, and I guess I don't really care. It's served its purpose for damn near 60 years. I think it's okay, right? I can't hear you. Did you get muted?
I bit a talkie and I didn't want to have ASMR in the headphones. I'm sorry, I haven't eaten today, so I'm trying to sneak it. So if you see me muted,
okay.
Anyway, yeah, that's totally understandable. I guess in the terms of like that kind of stuff, I sit there and I like detangle my hair a lot, and my fiance has to be like, "Hey, just so you know, you're like." I don't rip out my hair, but like my hair will fall out because it's dyed, and he's like, "Just so you know, your hair's falling out," and I'm like, "Okay, thanks for the heads up." Like I'm not even realizing I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Like I guess that's a part of it too, but yeah. Hey, you know what? If it makes you feel better, whatever. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Now I've shared that secret with everybody, so now you all will know if I'm holding my left ear. What I'm actually doing is just like like you'll know if because you'll see me doing it. Actually, it's so dumb, and because of it, I've never liked earrings because I have that urge to touch my ear, and I'm like, oh, but I have earrings on. That makes sense. But I do. That's crazy. But they feel weird on. Joyful, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that I do this thing that is definitely from my upbringing, where when I need comfort, I read the Bible.
Oh,
like
really?
Even now, like when I'm alone and I need comfort, I read the Bible, even though it drives me nuts, and I'm like, oh my god, I hate all of this. That for some reason, like that still brings me like a little bit of comfort in the really bad times.
That's cool.
So it's
cool that you found a way to do that. But now maybe you can go through it and be like, this is bullshit. Okay, now this is a contradiction.
That's exactly what I do. I get a lot of my material during my most anxious moments.
Well, that's good. That's what like if these things are working for us, then cool. Like they're very harmless habits that we have. Playing with my ear and reading the Bible. I'm going to wait till Born Again returns, and then we'll get on. You guys, thank you so much for the 8,000 likes. Keep tapping the screen.
Crystal.
Yes, sir.
Shush.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Guys, make sure you're tapping that screen. Let's get to 10K as quick as possible. If we're not to 15K by 5:45, I'm going to shut off the comments. So we need to get to 15K. Also, Crystal has her gift goals. She has her subby goals. Let's get Crystal over 100 subs today. She brings all of these great content creators. She's going to have Skeptical Heretic, who's a big creator. Bornagainatheist, who is an awesome creator. She brings so many awesome creators to you guys. Make sure you're subscribing to her because she is amazing. She keeps this, the Deconstruction Junction, her and Benny keep it going. There's a lot of people behind the scenes, but these two are always grinding to make sure everything is flowing well. Make sure that you are tapping that screen, giving her gifts, and gifting Born Again Atheist too. Let her know that we appreciate her coming here, because she is appreciated. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Joyful.
I've learned from the best.
We will be bringing guests up after I go through the icebreaker questions. It was wanting me to promote the live. I was thinking about it, but not right now. Thank you for the heartmies. Thank you for your awesome kitties. Yes, Theo, I do love kitties. I have to, right? Because now I have so many of them. Hi, Miko. Thank you for posting in DVDs for me. I want to be a subsidiary of BBDs. I want Bjorn to offer me a contract. I do own 470 shares of the BBD podcast, though, just in case you guys didn't know that. I do. Hey, Kiki.
So I'm going to be quiet again because the Uber's getting ready to take off again. So I'm going to be quiet for a minute, but I will do a commercial as soon as the Uber is done driving.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you, Joyful. Will he pay for your plane ticket like Joel or what? Oh, wow. Bjorn's never offered me a plane ticket. Actually, Bjorn makes me sometimes buy Joel's plane ticket. He said that was a part of my contract. I didn't even know I needed a contract, though, to be a shareholder. That was a little weird to me. I was a little confused. I know, right? So rude. So rude. Did you guys watch me the other night? Anybody watching that night when I gave Mezzo a bathroom break and that guy was on? That was hilarious. At least to me, it was hilarious.
I'm so sorry. That was a really important call from like a doctor, so I had to take that.
No
anyway,
problem.
we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
All right.
So.
Welcome back to the show. All right. Okay. What is one item that you will go to your grave gatekeeping, like where you got it, or you know? You don't have to tell me where though, but just tell me what you're gatekeeping.
What I don't gatekeeping. That's so funny. I'm a minimalist, so this is tricky. Literally, the only thing that's important to me in this life, are my like 2 friends I have, my 2 fur babies, and my husband. God, I don't have the gatekeeper. I'm a minimalist.
So you're not a gatekeeper, huh?
I'm not a gatekeeper. I just don't enjoy things like that where I'm like, I have to hide this from everybody. There's just not a lot of stuff where, yeah. There's things I love, but I love to share those things with others. So yeah, I'm not special in that. I'm really I'm a minimalist. So there's not a lot of things that I'm like, mine.
My house is not a minimalist house, but I want it to be. Like, I just live with other people. Like,
my husband's not. My husband, he loves shopping. He buys me things every single day. So it's hard to say I'm gatekeeping because I'm like, yeah, he buys me stuff, but I don't buy myself stuff. Because I don't know. That's how I'll say. But my house is not a minimalist looking house. There's a lot of character in here. And once again, I'm sorry about the interruption.
Oh no, you're fine. Joyful, thank you for sending out the subbies. I appreciate it. So I guess we are in our first bonus round for a subby wave. So if you haven't subscribed, and I have to do this commercial real quick because Joyful's in the Uber, or I'd let him do it because.
Do it.
But yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, do so today. Look at the talent that comes on my show. Look at what I'm talking about here,
guys.
Schley, thank you for sending out 5 subbies. I appreciate it so much.
Guys, don't sub.
This is awesome.
Sub because I'm living I wish my parents were Crystal life.
Aww.
I'm living through her right now by looking at somebody who, like my parents, who could have been deprogrammed from MAGA and from Christianity, and she's living testimony that it's possible. So give this up just really for the sake of like having somebody to look up to and be like, oh my gosh, I wish that could be me.
I need
but
Crystal is my adopted mom.
See, I think she's everybody's adopted mom.
And I'm good with that. I love that. Thank you guys. We did make the 7. So we're on to 3rd bonus round, by the way. I need 2 more subs to hit that 3rd round. I don't gatekeep either. I talk too much to gatekeep. So if I get something cool, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, actually I got something cool from a very special place that has leafy greens in it in California. You know what I'm saying? I got something cool there today, and I really wished I could just share it with you guys and go, look what I got, but it's TikTok, so I can't do that.
Okay, but we're picking up what you're throwing down.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's some good stuff, and I
That's
have to
awesome.
keep it to myself.
You have to.
Thank you, Hannah. Okay, yeah, only because they're forcing me to. Jeff, thank you so much for extending your subscription. You guys, thank you so much. You are awesome. Another bonus collected. Way to go.
Amazing.
Okay, so what makes you happy with the person that you have developed into?
My boldness, my confidence. Like I said, I was indoctrinated to think I have 2 ears and one mouth, listen twice as much as I speak. If I am quiet in a room and I bring the peace, everybody will be more happy. And time after time after time after time after time, I realized no matter how much love and empathy and help I showed others, the more it would come back to slap me across the face. It never once was good. And it's funny because I'll watch true crime stuff all the time, and all the personalities of the people that become victims, whether they survive or not, were identical to my personality. And I'm like, oh, conducting yourself in a way where you don't have boundaries and you're super kind and patient people will always take advantage of that. So I had to stop. It got to the point where I've had friends who I would do anything for in the middle of the night, would pick them up, let them sleep in my house, give them attention 24/7. And then when they would try to self-unalive, they would tell the popo that I'm the one that made them do it. It started getting to the point where I was like, oh man, helping people is getting me in trouble. And then I became a DV victim. I got severely schmoozed, and I'm like, holy shit, being physically had to remove me from church to leave the building. And in that process, getting kicked out and then simultaneously going to college and being in a really healthy relationship with an also deconstructing ex-Christian to atheist, it really taught me to pause, be isolated from giant groups of people. Like church is a large group of people that you're always in. So that kind of backed off. I did school online, and it kind of helped me rebuild who I want to be in my identity. And when I started doing debates on here, I was like, holy shit, I can just be like a big giant bee online, and it's anonymous. And I gained a lot of confidence from that. And then I was like, damn, I'm actually really good at knowing what the Bible says compared to anybody else I debate. They don't know shit about the Bible. And that gave me a lot of confidence to be like, God, I wish I had this much confidence as a believer. But I didn't. I was told as a woman, I have to listen. I have to shut up. Men lead, and that's just what it is. But honestly, through this process of getting kicked out, forcing me out, helped me realize that, you are a baddie. You know what you're talking about. I got a degree. Only person in my family that got a degree. Felt very confident about that. Got demonized for getting a degree. Having this app has taught me to have a voice. Taught me that I have ideas that people are interested in listening to. I don't have a giant audience, but it's enough to where I'm like, wow, I can actually hold a conversation with a Christian man and what right in the ass.
Yes.
And I feel good about it.
And you do it very well.
CrystalJae, thank you. But you know what I mean? I feel a lot more confident now, and I feel like I gained my voice through deconstruction, which was beautiful yet very isolating.
Oh, that was beautiful, Gilgamore. Did you see what he sent you? That was beautiful.
The jellyfish. Thank you, Gilmore. Praise be to Gilmore. Yeah, but I really appreciate you guys.
I really have gained my voice a lot on TikTok. But I've learned to be, and I've said this on other lives, so I'm not trying to virtue signal, and I'm not trying to be repetitive, but we often have different audiences. So if you've heard this before, Grandma's going to tell the same story again right now. Okay?
Oh, no, this is good. It's good. It's good because people need to know,
Yeah, I have learned a lot on this app to be quiet in when I'm in a community where I'm not a part of that community, to just shut up more and just listen more. And you know, whether it's the LGBTQIA community, it's great for me to be in the room. I learned so much. I don't have to be the one talking. I don't need to. There's plenty of voices here to represent what they're talking about. Or if I'm in a room with the Black community, or, you know, there's so many different communities on TikTok, and I didn't know. Like, I'm not trying to be flippant or sound stupid. You don't learn that as a Christian.
No.
You don't learn that you don't have to talk as a Christian. Oh, thank you. So,
Cute.
I had to learn that. You know what I mean? Because I was like, oh, wait. Even if I have a thought, I do not have to let it out of my mouth. I can listen to other people's thoughts. And then maybe my thoughts will grow or something. But no, I don't have to say them all. It's not important. But then on the same note, I also learned to not let men talk over me, even if they're my friends and they don't realize they're doing it.
Period. Yes, queen. Let's go.
And so I used to, because, you know, I'm also almost 60 now. So, you know, back in my day, we did all shut up. Okay. You know, I had to learn to go, no, I'm not done talking. And because I used to just shut up and go, okay, they're talking now. All right, let them
They
talk.
must have something. Yeah. Yeah.
The deaconess does shut up, but I'm not the deaconess tonight. So thank you, Tommy. I do try to stay. Sometimes
I love that. I love that. It's
I want to
important.
be calmer, though. I wish I didn't cuss a guy out. Like last night, Justin was on the show with us, and this guy came up and called either me or Joyful fat face. I don't know which one. I don't really care, right? And I go, okay, butt wipe or something like that. And I'm like, did I have to do that in front of Justin? Was that necessary?
W CrystalJae. Don't take no shit from no fucking mob. So that's awesome. That's fucking crazy.
And then
But good for
afterwards I
you.
go, can you just be calm, Crystal? You could just go, you know, are you done insulting us, sir?
Yeah,
I
oh
want
my
to be
god.
smooth, like mezzo or something like that. Or, you know, like Joel will insult people, but then he'll kind of do it, he'll trail off his voice as he insults them. As if, and then moves right on into a different conversation, so they don't
Like slick,
really notice that he did it. And I'm like, I want to be like that, but instead I just go, okay, butt wipe, you know. That's not. That wasn't classy.
It's tricky. There is a double standard. There is a double standard, and I've noticed it just has to be done. You know, if you feel like you need to call them ass wipe or whatever, it has to be done that way sometimes, because there is a privilege that dudes have. I've noticed, and I respect 100% of the deconstruction community. This is no shade at anybody. There is more likely for my account to get you-know-whatted because I'm a chick telling dudes, making them feel small about their knowledge on the Bible, and then they will just go blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, that's fucking annoying, because I'll see all these other dudes and everybody's just like, yeah, bro, I have a lot of respect for you, man. Like, I never thought of it like that. And then with me, it's just like, I'd like to watch you get grapes born again, and I wouldn't feel anything. And I'm like, God fucking damn it, dude. I mean, double standards, baby.
Oh my God.
So sometimes you do need to be a little spicy. If you want to be slick, queen, you got it in you. But for me, I totally get it if you need to kind of unhinge a little bit, because like, it's a double standard. We can't always just kind of do the butter maneuver, because they don't see us as equals. So either way, whatever you choose, you're going to be a master at it, because you're great. But I like to take the approach, because it's fun for me. But, you know, I love it. And I've never been able to do that. I've never been able to do that approach. So it's very, very healing for me.
Well, and then we try other approaches. At least I do. I like to try different approaches. I don't always have to do the same one. I want to try and learn different ways to talk to people. And so, like last night, I was on live with Sam and Scientific. I forget what her whole name is. Scientific. She's Ian's friend and Sam's friend. Anyway, she was on the show with us, and some guy comes up, and I thought I would try to engage with him. And what he came up to do was mansplain the definition of a word that we knew the definition of, but the guy we were talking to previously didn't. And so we, how like you'll go, so what definition of free will are you using right now? You know how you'll say that so you can understand where they're coming from? And that guy left, and the next guy came up to tell us the definition. And I'm like, we knew the definition. We wanted to know what he was thinking. Your whole purpose was to come up to mansplain to us. Why? And then you have to cuss them out after that, right?
You do.
Like
you have
rules,
to give them
right?
Yeah. Right in the woody, as I like to say. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It's freaking annoying. And a lot of times, with that tactic, I like that you did that tactic. And then mansplaining stuff's annoying. But what's cool is I kind of like to call it like the herding. You kind of are herding them in a certain direction. You're like, explain this and what does this mean? And then when they're caught off guard, bam, right in the booty, in the booty.
It was empathy
when they're caught off. So I like that. I like the catching them off guard.
You walk them sometimes right into deconstructing on your show. They're like, nah, and then the next thing you know, they're like, what? How did I
you're maneuvering.
turn here? How did I get here?
And then you bam them. So good job. I like that. See, I like you. I really, really like you and a lot of respect for you.
Thank you. I like you too. Okay, how would you describe the pace of your life? Excessively fast or slothfully slow?
It used to be very fast because I was in college and I had stuff due all the time. I would say it's somewhere in the middle. I wouldn't say it's slothfully slow. The days just come and go and come and go and come and go pretty quickly. I love my life a lot. I'm with the best person in the world, and so it feels like I'm on vacation every day when we're hanging out. And so I feel like that makes time fly. Because I'm never miserable.
That's nice.
Which is great.
That's
and
awesome.
We're child-free by choice. So it's really nice that we just have our house and our 2 fur babies and just smooth sailing. It's nice. And we also are super aligned on everything. Politics, religion, the way we discuss science, the way we love music, because we're musicians as well. It's like, we're just like best friends. So it makes every day in my life nice. So I would say it's just the perfect, if I can describe it in a way, it's just bliss. That's corny.
That's awesome.
It's just my response.
My life is, I would say it's pretty slow now. My kids are all grown. My grandchild does not live in state, so it's not like I, have to take care of a grandchild or anything. And I have a busy schedule with doing shows now and stuff, but that's me doing that. I could just turn off TikTok tomorrow and I'd go back to doing pretty much nothing but reading.
It's so fun. So this app is so fun.
Yeah, it really is. I'm going to be super, super upset if they take this damn app away.
I know.
Although YouTube, I love you too. YouTube, please subscribe.
You're hooked up to YouTube. Huh? That's cool.
Yeah. Okay. What legacy would you want to leave behind?
To hate rump, to critically think, and to be able to see things from other people's perspective, just because this is what I'm wanting to teach people, by the way. If it doesn't apply to you, if you can't relate to it, it doesn't mean you can't learn about it, and it doesn't mean you can't have empathy towards it. So my legacy is to teach people how to have empathy. If you're a dude and you're in Christianity what I do is I try to show them why women and the rainbow community have a hard time in the religion. Even if they are members, it's harder for them than it would be for dudes, and here is why. And I lay it out, and I'm trying to educate them. And it gets pretty, and it's very transparent on the misogyny. There's a verse in Deuteronomy 22 and 28 and 29 that says if a girl's single and she gets raped, the punishment is she marries her rapist to continue to get assaulted the rest of her life. And 10 out of 10, sorry, I'm getting over a cold. 10 out of 10, the dudes will say, yeah, but that's justice, that's mercy, because they don't know what it's like to be a woman who gets assaulted. And so I'm like, just because they're a woman doesn't mean they like it, you know? And so I'm trying to teach them to have fucking empathy. And then it gets a little interesting. I'll be like, you wouldn't like it if that happened to you, you know? And so I'm trying to teach empathy, and I'm trying to show people that it's okay to stand up for human rights. Even if you're not a part of those communities, it's okay to care about people not a part of your community. It's also good to question things and be upset when bad things are happening. It's okay to speak up. So my thing is to be like, just to educate. I'm just here to educate, and because I've had 27 years in it, like 14 hours a day, I was in it for 27 years, really in it. I'm just trying to show the perspective, like, and you know, you were part of it for a long time as well. We have a perspective that a lot of people that are just looking at the cotton candy versions of it. Oh, it's community. Yeah. Oh, it's Hillsong. Oh, it's elevation. Oh, it's all this nice stuff I like. It makes me feel good. I'm trying to teach them, you know, it's all the thorns that are hiding underneath the roses that you guys got to look out for. And a lot of times you don't realize it until you're already stuck pretty far deep, until you're like, oh shoot, this hurts, but now I'm like in it. So now I can't go anywhere. So just kind of exposing those things and to help people kind of think of it from a different angle. That's what I would like to leave behind. I love that. Just caring about humans.
I love that. I think that my children will be my legacy. I think that I think that, you know, traumas and abuses that have ended. And I feel like my family's line, my kids in particular, because I don't feel this way about necessarily all their cousins and stuff. I don't think it's everybody in my family's generation that's this age. I think it's my children in particular who are going to go for it, because my children have been told that Christianity is bullshit, have been told, you know, that women are equal to men. Not that I want them to be, but they are. They just are. You can treat them like they're not equal, but we are.
But we are.
We are. And that I still believe in, like, people think that if you become atheist, that you become nihilist. And I think that sometimes there's a stage of that. I think there's times where I thought that when I first started realizing everything. Sure. I mean, you've been lied to not only by your family your whole life, but by literally the entire world is in on the lie, and you start to realize what the fuck is going on, you know? That's wild, you know? And so being able to, I have kids that know to question authority, including mom and dad, you know, which it didn't always go over well. I'm not perfect, but we wouldn't have the relationship we have right now if we hadn't allowed them to say, you're wrong. You're just wrong.
It's nice that you created that space for them.
Yeah, and because of that, I know that they, you know, will go out and do that with others. Thank you, Grizzle. I appreciate that.
Cute.
So I think they're my legacy, and
that's great.
I hope that they, you know, do great things, and I'm sure they all will. I really am. If you were the last person on Earth, how would you spend your time?
Well, this is crazy. I was allergic to gluten, dairy, soy, canola oil, pinto beans, and I felt sick every day for 13 years straight. In my entire 20s, I didn't eat anything and I felt really sick. I recently healed that because I trusted doctors again. And so I've been eating dairy and gluten and soy and all of those other things for the first time in 13 fucking years, like 3 weeks ago. So, I would just enjoy not feeling sick, stuffing my face.
That's cool.
With every cake, pastry, fucking pizza. Oh my God. While I would be blasting Harry Styles, One Direction, everything, all that goodness. Hell yeah. And then I would just enjoy, I'd be really sad about my fiance, but I would really enjoy not existing with other dudes or rump. Or Christian.
Yeah, that would be cool. I think that I would have a lot of pets. I would have
animals can be a part of it. Okay, I didn't know animals could be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm the last human, so I'm figuring there's got to be some animals around. I don't care.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Dr. Fluff and Lucy, they are. Dr. Fluff and Lucy, I always forget that they're pets because they are not pets. They're my kids. But I always view them as people, so that just like went over my head. Yeah, the animals would be wild.
Yeah.
The amount of animals in my house would be crazy.
And I figure I'll probably be stuck, on some landmass, whether it's here. Let's say I'm the last person here in California. It's not like I can fly a plane. I don't know how to fly, so I'm not gonna be able to go to Hawaii or Europe or anything. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna learn how to hotwire cars, and then I'm gonna hotwire cars and travel across the United States. And whenever I run out of gas or breaks down, I just hotwire another car and take off and go somewhere else, and take a couple animals with me, and I don't know, just see as much as I can.
That's a great idea.
If there was one day you could repeatedly re-experience, which day would you choose?
And the day I got engaged. That was a good day for me.
That's cool.
I'm a big simp, yeah. Probably the day I got engaged. I was still feeling sick, but I was emotionally happy.
Tell us about your engagement.
So I got my diploma at the end of August of last year, and we were still dating. And I kind of thought in my brain, because we had been dating for 5 years, I was like, oh, I'm graduating, so maybe he'll reward me with an engagement ring. For a long time. And he made a little comment. He was like, oh, I have a hole in my sweater, but my mom can fix it when she comes. At the end of when she comes. And I was like, oh, when is she coming? And he said, oh, around the end of August. And then I was like, oh my God, he's gonna propose. That's why his mom's coming. Anyway, she's here and I'm nervous. I think he's gonna propose. And then it's an hour before she's flying back home. And then he had asked me if I could unload the dishwasher, and so I was like, oh, she's leaving in an hour. He would not have asked me to do the dishes, especially if he was about to propose. So that doesn't make any sense. So him and his mom left to go get lunch because I couldn't eat food at the time, so I couldn't go. They were just picking it up to go to bring it back to the house. And then he told me oh, we're gonna go to this fancy tea shop, so make sure you look nice before we go to the airport. So I dressed not even nice. Oh my God, it was booty shorts and this wrinkled shirt and my weird socks. Anyway, we were outside in the back. This is kind of gross, but in my backyard. This is kind of gross, but I had accidentally, for the first time ever, stepped in dog stuff in my my slips. I never had done that because I'm really good at cleaning the yard, but I accidentally stepped in it. So I was telling his mom, he's trying to set up the ring and everything, and I'm trying to tell his mom that I stepped in dog mess. And I'm explaining that to her, and then I'm also showing her and over here there's spider webs, and I almost got eaten by a spider here. And then he's trying to chase me around with a ring in the backyard, while my slipper is literally covered in dog mess. And then he says my real name, which he never does. And then I was like, what? And then he said these past 5 years have been really magical, or really nice, or what did he say? These past 5 years have meant the world to me, or something. And then I said, oh shit. He's not a simp. He doesn't like simp talk like that. Like, we don't call each other babe or anything. And I was like, oh my God. And then I turn around and he reaches into the pocket of a chair that was outside. And then he pulls out the box, and then my brain disappeared at that point and I couldn't breathe. And I was like really excited. And then he said a bunch of other stuff, but I went, like, I could not hear anything he said. And then he asked me, and then his mom took pictures, and I'm bawling because I was so fucking happy. Yeah, and I couldn't believe it. Yeah, he got me a Tiffany, so there you go, bam.
Oh, nice. wait, I want to blow that up so everybody can see. Let's.
Yeah, I got me a Tiffany. Hold on, there you go, the double.
Let my wife see that.
Yeah.
I blew it up so that I can later show Doug and go, what's up?
Yeah, love my Tiffany, and I love Jay. He's really hilarious. My favorite part about him is he's so funny. He's super talented, and we laugh 24/7, which is all I've ever wanted, is a partner who could make me laugh. And then everything else he does is great. So it's just icing on the cake. Bubber fluff, it's okay, my love. Anyway, enough simping. Holy shit, that'd be terrible.
For sure.
But I'm happy for you.
I have several experiences that I would live over and over again. So, if anybody is
He's
like,
a great guitarist too. Yeah.
One time. Oh, really? That's cool.
Oh, sorry. One of the commenters said he shreds on guitar, and so I was like, yeah, he's a really great guitarist. Anyway,
cool.
I'm so sorry, Crystal. What was that?
No, that's okay. So, like, it's hard for me to pick one. I'm gonna pick the time that when my kids were younger and I was driving them to school. I have 3 children, and they lived in Derby, Kansas back in the day. Anyway, I would drive them to school. They all went to like 3 different schools, and before we would go, one was still at home. The other 2 went to 2 different schools or something. And we would go to this little gas station that actually had like a little seating area, and sometimes get donuts and like chocolate milk and coffee and stuff before school. And one day, and we would always listen to this radio station, some local radio station out in Wichita, Kansas, on their way to school, to like the, whatever the top music of the day was, like it was the 2000s. So whoever was popular in the 2000s, that's who we were listening to.
Cute.
And this one day, they were like, the radio station said, we're going to be at that gas station. That's this little gas station that we would go to get. And I said, hey, kids, do you want to go meet Tracy? And I think her partner's name was Mark or something at the time. And they were like, yeah, that would be so fun, And I said, let's go to the gas station. She says she's going to be there. So I go there, and what had happened was, I guess the radio station had done like one of those things where every day they were giving away something. And then out of all the grand prize, all the winners from the daily thing, they were doing a special thing at the gas station where one person was going to win 100 lottery tickets from the California lottery, scratchers.
Whoa.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. Somebody's going to, like win some money today. He goes, this will be fun. And so Tracy came over, the DJ, so the kids got to meet Tracy. And she was like interviewing us for a second on the radio and being like, oh, I have Crystal here. And no, she never said my name. She goes, I have the 3 most beautiful children I have ever seen here with me right now. You guys need to come down here. We're doing this thing, And then she stuck a name tag on me.
Whoa.
And I'm like, what? Like, why do I have? And I said, oh, I'm not one of the winners. She goes, not everybody showed up. you know, and I was like, oh,
Yay!
I get to be a contestant today. And then
Whoa!
about before the thing starts, about like 5 minutes before the thing starts, my husband pulls up at the gas station. And I'm like, this is so wild. And I go, babe, how did you know I was here? And he goes, oh, because I heard Tracy say on the radio that the 3 most beautiful children in the world were at the gas station. So I knew you had to be there.
Oh.
Isn't that the sweetest thing a man could ever say? I was like, okay,
That's
now
so
I just
nice.
And then they made us draw a card, and everybody drew a card. Person drew like an 8, and then the next person drew like a 10, and the next person drew like a jack, and then I drew a king. And I won. So I got 100 scratchers.
Whoa,
And we all got to go home, and we let the kids all sit down with us, and we all scratched. And I think we won maybe $100, but it was so fun. So that would be fun to do.
That's crazy. That's awesome. Holy moly.
It was
That's
a really
so
fun
fun.
time.
That's crazy.
Okay,
Aw.
now for a little more serious. What is the most important sacrifice you've ever made?
Important. Can you go first?
I tried to, I don't even know why I asked this question, because I am having trouble thinking of one. Like, I don't feel like things
would
that
you
I
consider,
do
like-
Can I go?
are a sacrifice.
Oh yeah,
go ahead, Joyful.
I just need some help with this.
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Cause like being a mom is sacrificial.
My
For answer for you. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think about what's sacrificial for me. That's a positive thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
because I've done things like, one time we gave a young couple a car, like a car we weren't using. It still worked. It was in good condition, but they were a young couple and they were in need. And we were like, instead of trading it in, why don't we give it to them and we'll go get we were supposed to get payments from them, but we knew when we gave it to them, we'd never see a payment. So we had made up our minds knowing that, like, just give it to them and not be mad that they're never going to make us payment on that. But to me, doing stuff like that doesn't feel like a sacrifice, because that was all a decision that I made. I just don't feel like it didn't hurt us in any way. Like, it didn't make it so we, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's a good sacrifice. It's a great example. That's really nice of you.
What about you, Joyful?
Yeah, Joyful.
I think that my biggest sacrifice that I feel like I did was severing from Christianity. And the reason I say that
makes sense.
is because my family, my wife was an atheist. She deconstructed 5 years before me. My kids were growing up in a divided home, and 2 of my kids were LGBTQ, and I was fundamentalist. So,
Wow.
but the comfort of Christianity is what kept me there so long, and all of my 11 siblings and my 2 parents being very much in the faith, kept me in this place where, like, I was holding on to it with everything I had, because it's what brought me hope. It's what brought me community. So I feel like that was probably the biggest quote unquote sacrifice that I made in my life, was just giving it up and just finally saying, no, my family's worth more than this comfort.
That's
That's
a great
neat.
one.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Crystal, I hope you don't mind. I have one I wanted to share, because I never thought of it as a sacrifice before until you guys started talking. And I'm Grana, by the way. Hi. Nice to meet you. And
Hi.
mine for me was my marriage, because I was in an emotionally abusive marriage. But being a Christian, you don't leave unless it's your final resort. And to leave before I got to the point where it was my final resort, that to me was my sacrifice.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like all these answers. I agree with joyful. It
Yeah.
felt like a sacrifice walking away from the toxic. I'm sorry, I congested right now. Walking away from the toxicity of the religion because my entire community went from like hundreds of people to 0 instantly. And that was a very shocking thing. So I felt like I was sacrificing my entire community for the greater of like not sitting in the comfort of Christianity, which is instant friends and all this other stuff, because I could see the problematic stuff, the harmful ideologies, the refusal to, or the rejection of people that go against biblical lifestyles. And I was just ready to say, you know what? Fuck it, dude, it's not worth it. So my community went from like hundreds to 0. Also, yeah, I was in an abusive relationship from my church, and I did not get help from the church. I had to do it all by myself. That kind of felt like a sacrifice because I was like willing to speak up before. Well, it did get to that point, unfortunately. But I had to kind of advocate for myself. Sorry, my guy just got home. And then sacrifice, yeah. I would say that's probably where I'm at with that. It does. When you deconstruct, you are sacrificing your past life, and it is isolating and it's tough.
It is tough.
Absolutely.
You know, I can't think of the greatest sacrifice. I think that as a parent, you sacrifice things probably almost daily. But
Right.
you don't feel like it's a sacrifice because you feel like that's part of your, you know.
Crystal, I
what,
thought of a
Jacob?
new one.
What?
I have something too.
This is a much bigger one, and I didn't know if I should share it or not, but alright, so I looked around the world, and there were, like, a bunch of people doing bad stuff at one point, or, like, in life, and, like, I was finding it hard to forgive them, so, I decided that I was going to kill myself. Yes, I
To you,
absolutely annihilated my own son for yeah, so
yourself.
so that I wouldn't have to be mad at everybody else. I decided to sacrifice my own son. And I just
So
wanted to
you
let people know
forgive
because
me?
that is actually my
Oh.
biggest sacrifice.
Joyful, just
Stop.
forgive me for
Yes.
not staying in that relationship. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I will tell you one time when I did do something sacrificial, because since I can't think of a great sacrifice that I've done or anything, I'll tell you a sweet sacrifice that I did. I was little. I was probably tops 5 years old, and we went to Disneyland, and I got a very, very, very bad earache. But I didn't want to tell anybody because I didn't want my brothers and sisters to have to go home and leave Disneyland. So
Oh,
all through the time, I did not feel good. My ear hurt terribly, but I never said anything. And then the parade started. Back in the day, they had Disney's electric light parade, and so everything is lit up as they come down Main Street, and it was spectacular, you know. And my mom and dad were we don't compete with Joel. There's no competition with Joel. Joel can't even meet me at my level. Are you? No, I'm just kidding. I love Joel. Tell him hi. If you go see Joel, tell him hi. Okay. Anyway, we're on Main Street, and my mom is standing up right next to the curb of Main Street, you know, and I laid down on her feet, my head on her feet to keep that ear warm because it hurt so bad. And suddenly she started realizing, like, what is Crystal doing? She's 5 and there's a parade going on, and she's like laying on my feet, you know. And then finally she was like, what's going on? And she picked me up, and I said, you know, I have an earache. And she's like, why didn't you tell us? And I said, because I didn't want you to make everybody go home, and then they'd all be mad at me, and I just wanted us to have a good time. So that was the only sacrifice I can think of.
Oh,
That is
that's
so
beautiful and very sad.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, Fluff, that was crazy.
Oh well. For me,
Describe
though,
yourself. Hang on, Theo. We're not done
yeah,
with the icebreakers, okay? One more, and then we'll go up the thing. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Oh
you
wait,
guys.
I wanted to answer that question.
No,
I
because
mean,
these questions aren't really for everybody. They're really for born again atheists. They were just answering the one question, but these are for her. It's her Q&A. Okay, so let me get back to her, and then we'll ask. You guys can ask your questions.
Love
And
you, Crystal.
thank you. Okay. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Born again atheist.
I love that.
That was the best.
That was.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I came up with that myself.
I could beat that one. My 3 words are CrystalJae.
Yeah. W.
No. Okay,
Yeah.
give us some real descriptors now. Okay, like that's your name, but who are
I literally am not even trolling because it's become my entire identity. Being ex-Christian, being an atheist, it just means a lot to me because it's packaged with a lot. Like all of these things, being ex-Christian and being an atheist, it is who I am. It is why I am the way I
That
am.
makes
And oh my god, it's gonna sound like a braggadocious. And humorous. I know that sounds really insane that I'm saying that about myself, but I genuinely enjoy laughing and I enjoy making people laugh, whether they laugh or not.
I like that too.
I'm not perfect, but that's where I like to find in my deconstruction stuff at being ex-Christian atheist. It can be traumatizing, it could be heavy, it could be a lot, and so for me, if I can help people go through that and with a smile, hey, that's fucking awesome because it's already a lot. So I might as well enjoy it while you're going through it. That's what I would say. Humorous, ex-Christian, and atheist. Which is you're probably like, but that's what I got. That's what I got for you.
3 words for me. I am spontaneous, I'm playful, and I'm protective.
Oh, I love that. That's
Love
great.
all of you, for both of you.
Oh, you're so
All
sweet.
right. Well, Joyful, has your Uber arrived yet? Do you want to do a quick commercial before we go on to the question and answer time?
Yeah, if you guys have not subscribed to CrystalJae here, she brings great creators here. We have Born Again Atheist today. We will have Skeptical Heretic. We've had Justin, the Deconstruction Zone. We've had Mezzo and Joel. So many great creators come on this platform to do the Decon Q&A. And this will be reoccurring. Sometimes we will come on here to do more interviews. And so make sure that you are subscribed to CrystalJae. Make sure that you are hitting her gift goal. And let's try to get her over 100 subs today. You guys are subscribed to a bunch of stupid shit like Pornhub and shit. Cornhub, sorry. Make sure that instead of those kinds of things, because you can get corn for free, you subscribe to CrystalJae. Make sure that Born Again Atheist is feeling your love here today. And love you all. Tap them likes. We're going to get to 30K by 6:30 or the comments will shut off. I'm trying to say that as nice as possible, but that's what's going to happen.
Etc. with
Thank
the corn.
you, Joyful.
Gorgeous
Etc.
timing.
always does the corn when we talk about Cornhub. Etc. is awesome.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And if you are a subscriber, you are a dark crystal or a crystal light, whichever you prefer. But the D-Cry stands for dark crystal. If you are part of the dark crystals, you get exclusive stickers for the chat. Drop some stickers in the chat if you're a subscriber now. And I also have some special subscriber-only lives. I hopefully will have another subscriber-only live coming up with I Am His Pastor. We had a great time I forgot to set it to subscriber only when we did it, but it was a good thing that I didn't, because we ended
That's
up
funny.
having so much fun, and you guys all got to see us.
Yeah, but I
joyful-
missed it, so we're gonna have to do
I
it again
know.
because I actually
We
did
do.
miss it, and it was horrible. I
Yeah.
hated missing that.
Because Joel Reed's Bible was there, Justin was there, Skits Loves God was there, Daniel came up, Daniel Green came up. It was a party, and it was so much fun. So make sure you're subscribed, because I do offer you some very exclusive subscriber only lives and subscriber only content, and you get cool stickers. So what more do you want for $2.99 a month? Also, here's some of my guests that I'll be having coming up. On Sunday, I have Dark Knight. That's Saturday, I have Dark Knight. Sunday, I have Benny and Seth. Okay, Benny and Seth are going to be here. You guys, the deconstruction couple. Okay, so you want to be here for that. And then June 15th, I have Tahir and Earth Sanctuary, or Garnet. So make sure you join for that. And I have other people in the wings. So that'll fill up now, because I've got, Eric. Do you guys all know who Eric is? He's going to be on Wednesday. I just don't know what time yet because of his work schedule. So it might be one of those things where we just go live at some point on Wednesday. Okay. But yeah, so I have great creators coming up. All right, we are on to the next part of our wonderful show. Grana, do you have some questions for Born Again Atheist?
I do. Now, I forget, if you don't mind my asking, how old are you again?
I'm 30.
You're 30. Okay, so you're the perfect age to ask this question of. Because I graduated in 88, so I did not grow up in an internet generation at all. And what I'm trying to see is kind of the difference between how people from my generation have to deconstruct as opposed to the younger generations. Because if you only went to church, and that was the only place you got it, but now it's like people can catch you just anywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts on that, or how, is there a different way that you approach people in person as opposed to on like TikTok and stuff?
When you mean approach people, who do you mean? Like,
I mean, like people who are asking you questions about it, like how you answer questions, or is there a difference, or is it just based on, or do you just kind of match energies?
I used to match energy. What's funny is because I was raised in a Christian environment, 100% of my community are Christians, and I don't know if it's just because the part of town that I used to live in and work in, 100% of my coworkers were also Christian. It was like non-fucking stop. No matter who I ran into, they had a Jesus shirt on. When I was a Christian, they recognized me from all the churches. And then when I wasn't a Christian, I was like, God damn it, they follow me around like the schleg.
Wow.
So what's crazy is my in-person community, and at the freaking store, believers are all over.
On here. We're all adults.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gee.
nobody cares.
At the store, I see cross necklaces all up the wazoo, or a God bless you, or all this other stuff, and I'm just like, God damn it! I feel like they can see it on my face or something. And so, in person, I've never actually met somebody in the wild who's like an atheist or has or is deconstructing or whatever. They're all fucking Christian and they're all fucking MAGA. That's why I love the internet. I do feel bad, like for the generation that didn't have the internet. I was literally thinking this. I started deconstructing because I had the internet, because I had people like all these gorgeous deconstruction channels on this app that just pointed out the Bible in a way that I never read it. I've read the Bible a bunch, but when you see it through a different type of lens, that's not. Sorry. Oh my God. Sorry. Jay just scared me. He always scares me every time he comes home. The way my thing's positioned. They laugh. They think you're a troll. Anyway, having no, this is my interview with with CrystalJae. Having the internet was what led me to deconstruct. So I don't even know what the hell my life would look like without having that part of the internet. So for generations before the internet, who know what that even looked like? I feel like everybody was just freaking Christian. And now that we have access to talking to people overseas or different time zones in real time. We can
Yeah.
just talk about whatever, whenever, and I think that is so important for these conversations to combine minds from different personalities, from different cultures. If I didn't have that, I'd probably still believe in God, to be honest. So,
Yeah.
in the wild,
You just-
they don't exist where I live. Atheists don't exist where I live, except
You,
Jay. I don't
you
know.
just
I
made
found
me
him.
think of a really like key memory when you were saying that.
Oh, what is it?
So I'm even older than Grandma. So I graduated in '84.
Not by much.
I know, but I am. So anyway, if you could really understand what it was like to go from without the internet to the internet, like if I could let you for 1 minute be in the shoes of me back in that time, you would not, you cannot believe how weird it was, and how exciting and strange, and just so two things that like I remember
Like with that
you
Bill
guys
Clinton's
that we
time,
take.
right? Yeah.
Probably. I don't remember, to be honest.
He's the one that kind of
I was
like
raising kids. I was too
Yeah, he
busy
kinda,
with
like,
my kids
pushed
to
the
remember
internet,
what was going on. But Al Gore, right? Al Gore. So one was when I was playing my first game with, I was in Kansas and my brother-in-law was in California, and we were on this same airplane together on this game.
Whoa.
Like it was so wild to me. I'm like, that's Randy right there. You know, my husband's like, yeah, that's Randy. And I'm like,
That's
this is so wild. So he can see me doing this or whatever, you know, and it was just crazy. But the other one was, so we played a game called Air Warrior, and it was a World War, I don't know why I'm saying that word, dog fighting game, like with airplanes and stuff. So, and the game actually taught you actual plane, you've got an echo there, Grana. Some of the actual things about planes, like having the flaps and the rudder, you know, all these things. So you learned things. I can't fly a plane, but it wasn't just like pushing a button and you take off with the plane. You had to do stuff to make, just like a pilot, right? And so you became good at different planes, just like real pilots do. You know, some were good at dogfighting, and some of us were good at flying bombers, and that's what I was good at. And so you started flying with certain crews. Like you always had the same tail gunner because you guys knew each other and you knew how to go out and do these missions and accomplish them because you all work like a team, like they do in the military, right? So you took it very serious, and we all had our teams, we all had our parts and stuff. And eventually you become really good friends with people online, just like you do in games now. And then they said, you can call your friend in that game over your computer. Born again. That night, in the middle of the night, when I got to talk to my friend in New Zealand over my computer, I was crying.
That's crazy.
I was crying.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, oh my God. You guys have to know that at that time, phone calls locally were, it was bragging that you got to have a local phone call that cost 10 cents a minute. If you want to know what I'm talking about, look up the old Sprint commercials. She'll spin a dime and she'll go just 10 cents a minute. We paid 10 cents a minute to talk on the phone.
Dang.
And there wasn't text messages. So your choice was you pay 10 cents a minute to talk on the phone, or you don't get to talk to your friends or your family or whatever, right?
That's crazy.
So to be able to talk to somebody in New Zealand, it was just wild.
It was just
wild.
unheard of. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That would have been such a cool
Sorry, am I still
experience.
echoing?
It's crazy.
Am I still echoing?
No,
I don't
you're
think
good
so.
now, Nanny.
Okay. Just to tap in with what you were saying there, I still remember not just the name of the store, but the orientation of where the very first video game I saw was. Like where in the store it was. It was such a big deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Did I answer your question? Hopefully what I said made sense.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. Just
Okay,
kind of
perfect.
this-
That was really cool.
Hopefully what I said made sense.
because I'm just young. It's not the same at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just nice to hear a perspective on that. I'm glad to hear that you're able to deconstruct that way. And the only comment that I had about what you were talking about was I
Me too,
agree
Mother.
that online is how I started deconstructing. And the
Yeah.
main thing I learned about the Bible was you don't have to go crazy interpreting the Bible. You can take it at its word.
Mhm.
Yep.
And that's
That's right.
what killed me was like, oh my gosh, I've known all these words for so many years and I never
Yeah.
really listened.
100%.
You know. But I have to
Yeah,
go. I have a
it's-
friend at the hospital. I'm going to go visit her. And so I will talk to you
Oh,
Thank
later.
you so
okay,
much for
well,
coming up. I
She's doing
appreciate
good.
you.
She's doing good.
Thanks,
So
Greta.
And,
Always good to see you.
always, thank you.
Love you, Grandma.
Love you guys.
thoughts for your friends. I can't say thoughts and prayers. That would be
No.
Thank you.
contradicting. That
No.
would be contradicting.
Hi, etc. Welcome to the guest boxes. Hello. Yeah.
Theo, did you have a question for Born Again?
Oh yeah. What do you think about writing on the Bible? Because I swear to myself that I have written lots of things in the Bible and with a pencil, so that just in case I need to go back and erase them. What do you think about writing on the Bible, like vandalizing the Bible?
Yeah, so what I would do, right? I would get a Sharpie marker and just start scribbling those goddamn words out. Or something else you could do that I like to do is this was like at the beginning of my deconstruction before I started doing lives. I kind of lost it one day, and I told Jay, I'm gonna destroy my childhood Bible. So I opened it up and I ripped out one page, that's crazy. If you are a Christian, you cannot do that. And then
Yeah.
after I ripped out one page, I was like, this is when I was 7, and I feel like I'm going to want to keep this just for deconstruction purposes. So I did rip out one page, but I'm very much a person of like, write it down, and then if you come across it years later, you could see what the heck you thought about it. And I think it's more interesting to have permanent notes to see where your mind was at the time. I love looking back at my old notes. They're cringy.
You want to know
Yeah.
something funny? Born Again. I grabbed my mom's book Bible one day because it was the closest one, and I was using hers. And I don't remember. You know the little guy who runs up the tree? Isn't it Zacharias who runs up the tree to see Jesus or something like that? Because he can't see him.
Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus. My mom wrote. So she has all these cute notes like, and this is a sacrifice, or this is a prophecy. And then you get to that one, she wrote Danny DeVito. I was like, yes, he would make a very good Zacchaeus.
Hell yeah. That's so funny.
Theo, I
I think
don't think we're gonna push back on you writing in your Bible. You ask us questions like people would ask a Christian, but we're not Christians, so we're not gonna care.
yeah, like literally on my lives, I tear pages out of Bibles.
You do.
If
That's
people,
fun.
oh yeah, if people tell me that something is not okay, or like, well, that isn't something that is accurate, then I'll just rip the whole page out. Because it's useless to me at that point if a Christian doesn't believe that it was accurately written.
Right. I'm just like, what's the fucking point then if you don't even believe in it yourself?
Right.
That's fucking crazy. That's hilarious that you do that.
So I've
Oh,
shared
God.
this in the Discord a couple of times, but I collect Leviticus. So for years, I've been tearing Leviticus out of Bibles, and I have
That
it stacked.
is hilarious.
I have 62 copies of Leviticus in my house right now.
That is awesome.
Oh.
What made you start doing that, etc.?
a great collection.
It's so dumb. When I was a kid in church and we would get bored, we would want to read like the gross parts of the Bible. And I feel like back in the day, we were actually reading Deuteronomy because it has all of the nasty stuff in there. And then one day I thought it would be funny at a hotel if I stole the gross book from the Bible, and I remembered wrong. So I grabbed the wrong book, and now I'm just committed. I've been collecting them for so long, I ended up with Leviticus instead.
Oh,
That's
hell
awesome.
yeah.
That is
Leviticus
awesome.
is
That's
grosser than Deuteronomy.
Well, that makes me feel better. I bought one of the totes from Bad Bible Debates, the Leviticus tote, and now I store
That's
my
awesome.
Leviticus in the Leviticus tote.
That is so awesome. Do they
Mountains
know
of
you do that?
Leviticus. Yeah, I put it in the
Because
Discord.
okay, because they would love to know that. Hey Theo, did you have any other questions for Born Again? If not, it's Cetra's turn. I want to move on.
Yeah, just one last question. How do you
Okay.
contain your rage after reading the first 6 chapters of the Bible? I need help, and I cried reading through the six chapters of the Old Testament, and I feel like God isn't all loving, and some of his laws, even the murder laws, the unaliving laws, it just creates more unalivers. If someone kill, I mean, I am so angry and I cried reading. And how do you
Oh.
contain all those emotions from reading the Bible?
Are you still a believer?
I'm trying to deconstruct.
Yeah. It's heavy, it's traumatizing, it's shocking. I would say you just got to work through that and then continue to follow deconstruction creators because you'll feel less loco in the cabeza when you have other people agreeing with you. It sucks ass when you're doing it by yourself. I deconstructed alone. I had my fiance. But like you feel crazy because you're like, wait a minute, this is the God I worshipped for me for 27 years. What the fuck? What do you mean? So a big thing that shocked me was figuring out that the devil was pressured to unalive, or God unalived millions of people, but the devil supposedly was pressured to unalive 8. And when I figured out, when I like told myself that out loud, I freaked the fuck out. I was like, oh my bleep bleep blob, that's fucking crazy. Who the
Yeah.
fuck have I been serving? I've been giving 10% of every penny I've made since I was a little child. Every tooth I lost, 10% of that went to the church. And you're telling me it was for a God to unalive millions when the devil, who's the bad guy, was pressured. I don't know. I don't even know if he unalived the 8 people in Job. It's a lot. It's a lot. But you will feel less crazy when you hop on to deconstruction panels, when you listen to other artists on our channels on YTube here. That'll make you feel less crazy. Oh my God, just go to Jubilee and watch Christian versus Atheist. You'll feel better about yourself.
Oh my gosh.
Because
I mean, yeah,
the
and
contrast will make you go,
yeah,
I'm on the right side. I'm on the right
yeah.
side. A big thing that made me an atheist was a debate between Bill Nye and Ken Ham. And they did a tour. They did it at the Ark Encounter, and then they did a tour of the Ark. That video made me become an atheist. And it's crazy to see a bunch of Christians with a smart scientist side by side. It'll shock you, but you'll be like, okay, deconstruction is a positive direction for me. So keep reading, but get ready. It's gonna be crazy. But just
Yeah.
stay connected with people. Go to Discords, share ideas. That's how you'll find comfort. That's how I found comfort. But in-person communities, you're cooked. If you have a bunch of religious people around you, you are cooked. Do not share your ideas with them. They will demonize you. They will reject you, and you will feel bad about. You'll feel pretty bad. So I'm in the closet as an atheist in person. Nobody in person knows I'm an atheist. So
Same.
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. So
There might be
I keep that to
one or
myself.
two,
I
Yeah.
I
but then I
unfortunately
don't see those people
overshare.
anymore.
I unfortunately overshare, so like my whole family, like some of my siblings won't even let their kids come to my house because I'm an atheist.
Crazy.
So like yeah, I would Theo, I would definitely refrain from sharing it with too many people, because I just came out and I was like, I'm like 100% in whatever I'm doing. I think that's part of my ADHD. Like, I hyperfixate, and this is what we're doing now. And so, like, I just told everybody, like, I'm not a Christian anymore. Jesus, I'm not even sure Jesus was a real person. And so, like, Theo, I would say to, like, do this journey. And as you come up with things, get with like-minded people, and not so you can get in, like, this echo chamber, but because the problem is when you share these things with people, like Born Again was saying, it can be harmful. It can make you revert back and not finish your journey. So make sure that you do what is best for you to find your happiness, your growth, and what you find to be truth. Because we're all subjectively just going through this life, seeing what we see. So, Theo, just make sure you protect yourself. For sure.
Yeah, I will. And for the last part, I mean, I do been on Miss Tinker's live, and I follow two creators, and their videos they definitely do tell more truth about the Bible. And I followed Deconstruction, and there was this skit about Bible school, and this main character, who is a kid, he has a lot of questions about the Bible, and even made the teacher of that skit questioning their own beliefs. And we I and in a later part of that skit, the church was owned by the teacher's dad, and they brainwashed the Christians by using their foil hats to make them forget about questioning the Bible. And even in my real life, I asked my uncle, who is a Christian. I mean, I have two uncles who are part of churches, and they're pastors, and they couldn't even give me a straight answer as to why God didn't provide a safe space for. I talk about Deuteronomy 22 with my uncle pastor, and I was shocked. No, there was no comfort for women after being raped. And I asked him what, and he couldn't answer why he God condoned rape, and there was a less punishment for that. And to be honest, I don't know quite as well, since we are not God. And well, I can't get a definitive answers from Christians anyway.
Theo, well, thank you so much for coming up, you guys. Big W in the chat for Theo. Kid, he's a part of the community. Yes, he is 18. So if he's in your live, you don't have to worry about it. He is old enough to come up on your panels. But he's deconstructing, and he's a friend of the nerds, thinkers nerds. So, etc. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well. Do you have some questions?
I missed your elevation station. Are you ever going to do that again?
I didn't end up doing it, so yes, I will do it. I'll do the elevation station. I don't remember what happened that day. I know that I just really was not feeling it, but then something else came up, and I was like, oh, okay, now I have it out. But I do want to do it one night. I just when I'm in a better mood. So if you guys don't know, one night I'll have a sub-only live where I will be elevated, and you guys get to join me. And I don't know, we're just gonna screw around. And if you want to be elevated too, you can. Mhm.
I got really elevated, then Crystal didn't go live, and then I got
Yeah.
really unelevated.
Leaving
It
a
was
friend hanging.
it was the most buzz killing thing I've ever seen.
Benny got elevated too, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm letting everybody down."
I feel like that kind of live does have to be spontaneous, though, right? Because it has to be when you're in the right mood just to have that kind of hangout. It's
Yeah.
not fun if you force it.
Yeah,
Oh.
and I really wasn't, but then something came up anyway, and I was like, "Oh, okay, yay, yay me!"
Yeah. All right. And then for Born Again, hi. I'm sure you know I love watching your lives. You are so much fun.
etc. Oh my god, it's funny because I grew up in a Christian school, so kind of a dumbass. I saw her username and I was like, how do I pronounce that? How do I pronounce that? And she literally wrote ek dash said dash and I was like, oh my god, you fucking idiot! Oh my
I
god,
think-
of course it's etc. God damn it.
Yeah. Nobody sees it spelled out though, right? Like usually people think when you spell out the whole word it has an X in it because you say etc.
Okay, no,
Right.
you're being nice. I'm literally being a DA. Like I'm an absolute blah 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 blah. Anyway, I'm happy to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm doing well, thanks. I think so. My question, since I'm gonna try to keep it short, I always talk too much, but
Oh, and thank you for the compliment. You're very sweet.
when I watch these lives, you know, there's like a lot of reoccurring themes from theists, and they'll keep chewing on these ideas. And the one that is the most offensive to me is morality. They think that they have a lock on morality. And I know I've watched so many people debating this, talking about why atheist morals are better. And theists, and they'll keep chewing on these ideas. And the one that is the most offensive to me is morality. They think that they have a lock on morality. And I know I've watched so many people debating this, talking about why atheist morals are better. What your thoughts on that? Or
the kids are calling, but guys, make sure you're tapping these likes. Let's get to 35K. I will be watching and I will shut off the comments. If we aren't to 35K by 7, make sure you're doing that. Crystal deserves 200 more in their like 1 coin gifts. Make sure we're meeting that, and make sure you're subbing to Crystal because she brings you great content like talking to Born Again here or talking to Joel Mezzo, Deconstruction Zone. Soon we'll have Skeptical Heretic. Just make sure that you are subscribing to her and follow Crystal around. And one last thing, Crystal is also a part of my live. She is live with me every Monday and Thursday. Me and her are co-hosts, and we debate Christians, and it's a good time. So make sure you're following and subscribing to Crystal because you get great content all around.
Yay!
Have a great night, guys. I've got to run. The kids are calling.
Bye, Joyful.
All right, have a good night.
Have a great night.
If you're not following Joyful, you should be, because you should.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would follow me and not be following Joyful.
Etc. I would say the reason why the morality topic is so annoying and exhausting is because it's typically only brought up by Phil Bros, and Phil Bros make me want to gouge my eyes out, and then gouge a second one out at the prospect of them coming back on. Because it's just like they're on a script. So that one really annoys me. And what also annoys me is like they refuse to concede. They will unalive on that hill that morality is objective. And I'm like, you dumb. I'm sorry.
Yes.
You're insane, because God says don't unalive, but then if he commands you to unalive, you have to. It's fucking subjective. It's whatever the fuck God's feeling that day. So it just pisses me off. And then they're like, atheists can't have morality. What the fuck do you mean? Your God, all he has to tell you is to just like throw a baby in water and hold them down, and then you'd have to do it. Like, you don't have morality. It's whatever God's asking you to do. I can say, I view these things as bad, these things as all right, these things as good, and it's my morality. It's subjective, so it's just what I deem. And as you can see, etc., they'll always say the same BS. They're like, you have no grounds for your morality. What the fuck do you mean? What do you mean by grounds? I can look at something and say that's wrong, and look at something else and say that's fine with me, because it's subjective. So the morality thing just pisses me off. And I've never actually had anybody concede on that point, that it is subjective, which is brain rot to me.
They won't.
They won't, which I even tell them, I even try to like sprinkle sugar onto them. I'm like, hey, God can still be the creator. God could still be all powerful, and he could still be daddy. But it doesn't mean morality's not subjective. Like, he could still be awesome for you while it also being subjective, because even Jesus fucking contradicted everything God did. Jesus' morality is subjective. God's morality is subjective. And they're like, no, it's not.
And Paul had different ideas than Jesus, so Paul's morality was subjective. You know, what the hell are they talking about? There's 45,000 different denominations because morality is subjective.
Subjective.
Yeah.
I wish
think-
it was more clear cut.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
we
the
do have
rhetoric,
better morality, Spicy.
yeah, it like feeds into this distrust of atheists in general, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't have kids, I'm also child-free by choice, but like, if I had a kid or my niece or nephew, I would way rather leave them with an atheist than with a Christian. And I don't,
Hell yeah.
right?
Cool.
So I don't know. That's the one that frustrates me. Anyway, you guys do a great job handling them. Thank you.
Oh,
both.
I go loco in the cabeza when they start saying I have no grounds, and I go, okay, time to freak out, because that makes no fucking sense.
But
I'm
it's
like,
so fun to watch. Like,
Okay.
it's cathartic.
well, thank you so much. But the Phil Bros, I fear they shut my brain down, and my attention span just depletes when they go, you have no grounds for your morality, born again. What are your grounds? What's your logic of reasoning? And I'm like, shut the hell up! Shut up! Shut up! No woman is gonna want to touch you when you talk like that. So stop
Right.
talking like
You
that.
know, Joel has been
Goddamn.
running a good argument on that lately, because he's like, okay, so let's just like run a little thought experiment. So would you say that asking someone for their consent is the morally right thing to do, since you have objective morals? What do you think is that?
Okay.
And they say, yeah, like, of course you should ask consent. You shouldn't go raping people. That's morally wrong. And then he says, okay, can you show me in the Bible where consent is a thing?
Yeah, give me the
A
scripture.
thing.
Yikes on bikes. Oh no.
Yeah,
And
it's not
then
in there.
they're like, oh, duh. Well, then how can you say that it's morally right to always ask for consent? That's where we're trying to tell you this is subjective. It's not even in there. A
It's
lot
like
of
that
house
superior
cats.
discernment.
So yeah, that's etc. Do you have another question?
Well, I think I'll let other people talk. I could go on forever, but
Okay. But you can
I'll
stay
pass
up
it
here
along.
if you want. And then
We love
when we
etc.
get done with questions, you can play Divine or Decline with us. Okay, so stay
Oh
on up.
hell
As-
yeah.
As long as I get to answer after Born Again.
Okay. We'll go up. We'll go up.
Okay.
Looney, Looney, can I get your age? Because I haven't met you yet. Hi.
Hi,
I love the
I'm really
hair.
nice.
Oh my god.
Thanks.
Yes, I do too.
I'm 30 years old.
Okay. You're fine. Did you have a question for Born Again?
I first of all, I wanted to thank both of y'all for hosting these lives. I've been in and out of both y'all lives for a while now. Just enjoying.
Aw.
I think I met Born Again in someone else's live, and we talked for a second. But I really appreciate these lives because they're educational, they're helping people, and it's these kinds of lives that actually help people like me get out of Christianity. Because I was on a live in TikTok, in a pagan live actually, and just people talking about there were pagans alongside atheists and agnostics deconstructing the Bible, and I was like, it's all stuff I already know. I need to take the final step and renounce my faith. And
Yay! I'm so excited for you. That's
I've been
awesome.
deconstructing. This is the Bible I've had since I was 13 years old.
Wow.
Old and
You don't mind if I blow you up so people can see, right? There you go.
Whoa.
it's had it since I was 13 years old. It's taped back together again. It's falling apart. It has notes and highlights sections and things in it. Like, it's falling apart. But I wanted to. I've noticed that you guys said that you had ripped pages out of the Bible, and I guess it was a symbolic thing. And I've actually never done that before. But when I thought about it, and I thought, there's a particular page in one of my Bibles that I really, 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 really dislike, and I think that page I want to take out. And it's
You're gonna do it on my live?
the Evidence Bible. The very first page of Revelations, there is a picture and a quote.
This is cool.
This is so cool. I'm literally getting teary-eyed. I'm such a mushball, I swear.
I love this.
There's a picture of him.
What? Why?
And this is an evangelistic tool from Way the Master, Ray Comfort Bible. And it's talking about how God with us was engraved on their belts as soldiers. So this is my very first page I'm ripping out of the Bible.
Yay!
Yes!
I'm going to discard of this where it belongs.
That is the best.
Whoa!
Congratulations. How do you feel? How do you feel?
It feels liberating because I never thought of it before, and I need to go back and reread the Bible. I've read it multiple times and I dislike it a lot, but I need to reread it because I need to get to the point to where I can host lives like you guys are hosting and help other people, because your guys' lives, the lives of yours,
My dog's
helps
excited
me.
for you.
And I'm happy, and I wanted to thank you guys. And that's what I wanted to do.
I love that. Thank you so much. You're amazing.
I know, Bob, but it's really exciting.
Congrats, Lenny.
Beautiful,
Congrats.
beautiful, stunning, gorgeous.
That was the perfect page to rip out. What the wow?
Right?
That was awesome. You gotta cut that one, Crystal. That was too cool.
That was really cool. Looney, sometimes I go live and do Christian discussions. I go live probably about once a week, maybe once every other week, where I'll just do a Christian discussion live. And you're more than welcome to come up and be on my panel to start getting used to going live. A lot of times going on a panel really helps you relax a little bit and stuff.
Yes.
And you can come up and help me talk with Christians. Usually what I do is have them tell me their favorite Bible story. And then we look at that Bible story to see, why would that be your favorite Bible story?
I'm not very knowledgeable on things outside the Bible. Like, I'm still learning a lot of things. I'm newly deconstructed.
You will know more. You will know more than every Christian that comes up here. I assure you, you will.
But I know this book, and I know how to school just about. I've schooled pastors on it. So
Yeah.
26 years of devoted study, and I was an evangelist for 4. So
Good thing.
I know it, and if it comes down to help someone break out of it, I'm definitely gonna try to do my best to at least help people see what they have put their lives into.
Goddamn. One, you'd be surprised. It is it's way easier to debate than you would think it's. It's easy. They don't know shit about fucking shit.
And
That's
it's common
insane.
sense.
It's common sense shit. You're the one that's usually bringing up verses, and they're like, "What?" But I just like he gives me butterflies. He gives me butterflies. Like, that's what you're going to be up against. You're going to absolutely school them. Just know there was a lot. The first time I ever went live, it took me 10 minutes for me to get bananaed because I did not realize it was that strict. So just be very mindful of what you say, how you say it. Do a lot of censoring, and then you will be good to go. That's why my other account got because I did not know the words and the language to use. So just be mindful of that. But other than that, you're going to school them. Look at your Bible. It's like literally falling apart. So you know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah,
and I
you
admire
do.
you. That was so cool that you did that. That's a sign of
That
healing.
really
I'm
was.
really proud of you for doing that. That was cool. That was awesome to be part of that.
Hey, do you have Discord, Looney?
Yes, I do, but I don't have very many Discords that I follow yet.
Okay, well, we have a big one. It's called the Deconstruction Junction. I'm a part of Deconstruction Junction. If you're a part of Deconstruction Junction, will you put a 1 in the comments? And the link is in my bio, and it's just a deconstruction Discord server. There's people of every imaginable ilk in the Discord server. We have pagans, witches, rabbis, atheists, agnostics. So it's a great place to deconstruct, and we're very protective of it, and we're a great community. And so I encourage anybody here who wants to join. It's absolutely free, and it's a great community. And you can see all the people who are in the chat that are a part of it.
It's a lot. It's great.
Thank you so much. I'm definitely gonna check that out once the live is over and hop in the Discord. I definitely need the help and the support.
Oh my God, you'll find so much healing yelling at the monks. Those are men of God. Yelling at the monks is such a healing thing, and it's so fucking fun, and it's just so great. Oh, you're gonna do so well. I'm so excited for you. Honestly, that's so exciting.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate this has been a healing moment for me. I'm gonna go back
And
to
if
the
you want
comments.
to stay up, okay, you can stay up if you want. Have you ever played my game?
No.
Okay, we're gonna play a fun game, and if you want, you can stay up and play with us. But you don't have to. You do whatever you want. Okay.
I do have to go pick up my kids from daycare. I got 3 little crotch goblins I gotta go pick up.
Okay.
I will definitely be in the comments and listening in. So thank you so much.
Yay!
Thank you, Looney. It's nice to meet you. Big W in the chat for Looney. That was amazing. That was great.
Oh, I love
Hey,
that.
Spicy, how are you?
Spicy, yes.
I am good. How are you?
Doing good. What
Cool.
do you have for Born Again?
What do I have for Born Again? Have you ever done a debate on the intersectionality of religion, race, etc.?
Can you elaborate on what you mean by that? I think I know what you mean, but just to make sure.
How we all interact and how we should interact and how we need to learn to change how to interact to be a community that helps each other instead of harming each other.
Yeah, I kind of,
I think that's right.
a big aim for my channel is social issues, so I really try to tie in those themes every single live. That's why I kind of trap them with the God's evil, and then I always bring up political issues like rainbow community, women, people from other countries that are being a schmooze, G-side, and I try to show them the crossover. So what's funny is they'll always come up here with their religious BS, their little call it a customer voice, where they're like, I just want you to know that Jesus loves you, and I just want you to feel the love of Jesus like I feel it. And they'll go on about it with their customer voice, and then I'll say, yeah, so in Matthew, when Jesus says to take care of people from other countries and to treat them like they're your native born, and they always go, that's different! That's not for the rapists and the murderers! And I'm like, yeah, that's what I fucking thought. You don't give a fuck. You just like that it's colonized. You like that it's YT washed. You like that Western Christianity is what it is. It's cruel. It has hierarchy. It discriminates women. It boosts up men. It loves power. It loves the oligarchy. You love it. You love it for the greed. You love the capitalism of it. You don't actually give a shit about. I'm not a big fan of Jesus, but you don't even like the Jesus messages. You like the Paul messages. You like the God messages. So I try to show like the overlap of like MAGA and how it's hypocritical towards some of Jesus's messaging, but I also try to bring up the Bible overall is a very harmful book, and that's why MAGA is so problematic, or that's why a lot of people are oppressed, and that's why like I only debate men. They're the only ones that come talk to me. I always say, you like You like it because you got a dingling, so you're like number one. I say, you've been a loser your whole life, and in this religion, you are instantly number one. You went from a loser who's in and out of jail, divorced, can't see your kids, and then you walk into a building and they bow to you, kiss the tip, and say you're God. Of course you're gonna fucking like it. I said, of course I'm not going to like it, because it doesn't matter how much education I have, degrees, and then I'll show the parallel. And a good example I'll use is like, there's two people. One person studied seminary their whole lives, went to Israel, knows how to translate the Hebrew and the Greek, 27 years of doing that. And then this other person's 18 years old. The only experience they have is within the youth group